He's a fox demon wanting to become immortal, but he doesn't have the spirit power. His master told him there's only one way. He has to sacrifice a human boy. But the boy really once saved his life, and he's been taking care of him ever since. Yet fate brought them together. And this is his trial in the mortal world. He's out with his dad and brother looking for the fire. His brother tells him to stay put. But this boy's been in a wheelchair since he was little. He's always been gossiped about, always getting pitying looks from everyone. Even his teacher suggested he trans. Of course, his brother Ruji has always taken care of the boy, even promised to carry him for life. But now Ruli's at the edge of a cliff, about to say goodbye to this world. Suddenly a fox bursts through the barrier, flying straight toward the cliff. In that critical moment, Ruli unbuckles his wheelchair strap and reaches out to grab the fox about to fall. Thanks to Ruli risking his life, the fox is finally pulled back up. Looking at the human who just saved him, the fox eagerly introduces himself, snuggles into Ruli's arms for a cuddle. Li's legs have already healed, and he can walk. That near accident brought him a miracle, but with it came some trouble. Animals go crazy whenever they see him. Luckily, the butler helps chase away the crows, and because animals freak out around him. Firefox's dad sent from far away, as a birthday gift for his brother. He can't even get close enough to see it, but earlier today he heard the Firefox's voice. That warm yet sad feeling. Ruli wraps himself in a thick coat, planning to sneak out at night. He gets to his brother's lab where the animals are kept. Inside it's barking and hollering. Ruli gathers his courage to find the little fox. The moment he sees the little fox, a strange sense of warmth fills his heart. While the little fox is sleeping, the boy gently touches its nose. The soft, tingly feeling makes him happy. And then the little fox opens its eyes. The boy thinks it's going to attack, so he shields himself with his arm. Turns out the fox is just warding off the vicious dog behind him. With just one look from the fox, the dog drops to the ground, whimpering non-stop. Seeing this, the boy's completely stunned. Does this little guy have magic or something? Seeing the fox covered in wounds, the boy's really worried. So he sneaks it back to his room. The little fox lies quietly in his arms. For the boy who's never been able to get close to Anne, this wound is something he's never fought. And so he falls asleep holding the fox. In the middle of the night, the fox heals the wounds from the crow attack. And when the fox opens its eyes again, it's transformed into a beast. The boy's still asleep. When he opens his eyes and sees the lid into a person, he's totally shocked. In his panic, he kicks the naked fox right off the bed. Late at night, the boy fell asleep hugging a fox, but woke up to find himself in a beast-eared person's safe. In his panic, he kicks him to the floor, thinking he's run into some pervert. Then the completely naked fox slowly gets up and barks at Ruli a couple times. Ruli slowly calms down, remembering he went to sleep with the little fox last night. And how did he wake up to this beast-eared idiot? Then the boy realizes this beast-eared person is the little fox transformed. He asks what his name is. The fox doesn't answer, just keeps rumbling with hunger. The boy wraps him in clothes and goes to find food. Here like a good boy. But the little fox has disappeared. He runs to the balcony to find this guy's locked eyes with his husky, looking all fierce, not caring at all that he's completely naked. Ruli quickly grabs a coat to cover him, but the husky is staring hard at Ruli, yet with the fox beside him now. The husky has no intention of attacking him. It's been a long time since this happened. Ruli happily says the fox is basically his savior. Then he fears his brother's coming back. Ruli hurries to hide him, and teaches the fox how to get dressed, warns him not to wander off again. But the moment Ruli leaves the room, the fox curls up in a ball from the unfamiliar surroundings. Suddenly the fox starts going. His wounded body collapses to the floor. Then he transforms back into a fox. Meanwhile, Ruli warmly welcomes his brother home. Look how much my Ruli has grown. He asks if the boy got the package dad sent. His brother's just back to grab some files. The files are in the study where he hid the fox, thinking he can't let his brother find the fox. While he's on the phone, the boy rushes back to the room to find the little fox. Halfway there, he hears screaming from inside. The moment he pushes the door open, what he sees completely stuns him. The wounded fox's eyes are glowing red, and he's got the maid pinned under his claws. He should probably run right now. But seeing the maid under those claws, he steps forward and asks if the fox remembers the one who slept with you last night. Before he can finish, the fox grabs him hard and lifts him in the air. He gently touches the fox's neck. Little fox, cuddle with me. Remember me quick. Then the fox throws him to the ground, raises his claw, about to strike the boy hard. Suddenly the spirit pearl lights up, sings the scent song, leans in to smell the boy's scent. The next second the fox transforms back into human form. Seeing the boy he hurt during his rampage, the fox falls into deep thought and collapses unconscious beside the boy. The fox's sudden rampage injured them. Seeing the boy lying unconscious, the fox feels both guilty and anguish, then collapses, curled up beside the boy. In his dream, the fox before him feels so familiar. As a tear slides down the boy's cheek, Ruli suddenly wakes up in bed, seeing his brother watching over him. He urgently asks how the maid is the one pinned under the fox's claw. His brother's obviously confused, worried he had a nightmare. Because what his brother saw earlier was him sound asleep on the hugging the fox, and mumbling Bai Ye's name the whole time. The boy remembers he was definitely injured, but now all his wounds are completely healed. He asks his brother where the little fox was. His brother's expression turns serious, because animals around Ruli are dangerous, even though the boy promises it won't happen again. Of course it can't happen again, because he's already arranged with the driver to take the fox to a professional hospital, and told him to give up any idea of keeping the fox. Hearing this, the boy drops his head sad, but his brother's also poorly. Why is he so attached to this fox? Meanwhile, the driver's taking the fox to the hospital, wondering why there's no people or cars around. Suddenly, a white fox blocks his way. The white fox simply says, "Sleep here," and the driver passes out. Then the white fox blocking the car slowly transforms into human. This white fox is the fox's man. He holds the little fox, checking what he's been through these past days. The fox escaped from the wolf cry hunting him, and met the boy who could help him become immortal, but hurt the boy during a rampage. Then the white fox gently touches the fox's forehead, hoping he can communicate better with humans. Then controls the driver to return to the boy's house. The driver sees the little foxes, and immediately turns around to head back. Back home, Rui's still worried about the fox, whether it'll go berserk and hurt people at the hospital. He didn't even get to say goodbye. But then he suddenly hears the driver brought the fox back. The boy's face lights up with his usual smile again. Since the fox was brought back, his brother steps forward to check the fox's injuries. He needs to confirm the fox is healthy before he'll consider letting Ruli keep. Just as he picks up the fox to examine, Ruli brings the files his brother needs to the room. The fox sees it's the person he's looking for and immediately leaps toward the boy. His brother's worried the fox will hurt him, but the fox just snuggles into the boy's arms for a cuddle. No sign of wanting to hurt him. The boy takes his chance to beg his brother to let him keep. His brother's stunned by this scene and agrees to his role. But seeing how affectionate the fox is with the boy, he remembers when Ruli had his accident. A fox appeared back then too, constantly licking Ruli's cheek. Looking at the unconscious boy in the hospital bed, the fox his brother wonders if it's the same fox from back then, but quickly dismisses that idea. And Ruli, who gets to keep the fox, can't stop smiling, already planning in his head to dress him in flowery skirts. Imagining having a 5'9" fox girlfriend, he's just thrilled inside. From now on, he'll call the fox Baiye, meaning white night sky. Later, as the evening comes, his brother's busy with school stuff, says goodbye to the boy late at night and leaves. Then the boy returns to his room. The moment he calls out Baiye's name, what he sees makes him freeze, because the little fox has turned back into a completely naked human, staring out the window with macaulay eye. Seeing the boy's return, the fox actually speaks. You're finally back. I've been waiting for you. The boy adopted a male fox, but fantasized about having a fox girlfriend from now on. But what he didn't expect is the human form fox just wants to cuddle with him. Right now, the completely naked fox is speaking fluent human language. Only remembers the boy was the first thing he saw when he walked, and gestures for the boy to come closer. Though Ruli doesn't get why the fox can talk now. The fox's words make Ruli unconsciously move closer to him. The fox asks with concern if it still hurt the boy during his rampage. The already healed boy says it doesn't hurt at all. His healing power is actually pretty strong. Before he can finish, the fox pulls him over and starts his licking the wound healing method on him. Thinking the fox must think he's an animal, the boy decides to teach him lots of human habits. First, he tells him touching lips to someone's skin is only okay between very close people. The fox asks if they count as close, right? And immediately pounces on the boy for cuddling. The boy's just helpless with this eager fox. He tells the fox he gave him a name. Baiye, does he like it? Being new to human form, the fox doesn't understand what. He can only flash that criminally charming smile, and Ruli's only thinking about finding him clothes. The fox in clothes feels really uncomfortable, but the boy truly feels the thrill of having a human. But then the fox pulls him into his arms again, expressing his special feelings for the boy. The boy asks why the fox suddenly lost control. The fox explains his body suddenly got hot. Then someone came in, touched his tail, and he suddenly went berserk. The boy thinks if it's because of the tail, might as well test it himself. But after touching it, nothing seems to happen. Just thinking maybe it's not the tail. But suddenly the fox pins him down, staring at Ruli. Ruli's totally panicked, suspecting this guy's tail is probably the switch for that kind of thing. The fox keeps getting closer, using his tail to touch the boy's skin. The boy just feels itchy all over and can't breathe, thinking he's got to make him stop. But suddenly the fox stops responding, curls up in Ruli's arms and falls fast asleep. Then the exhausted Ruli also collapses on the bed. He can't figure out this fox who just took his first kiss. Why does touching his tail make others go berserk? But when he touches it, it's a different reaction. Suddenly the fox wakes from a night. Seeing the still sleeping boy, he wants to get closer, but discovers he's been tied up completely. The next day, the moment the boy wakes, he sees the fox lying by the bed staring at him. Seeing he's hungry, he takes him to find food, but just can't take him out of the room. So he has the fox watch TV to pass the time. Then brings breakfast and asks if he likes, if there's anything special he wants to eat. The fox says he wants to eat mice, birds, and rabbits. But for now, Ruli can only share bread with him. After eating, he sees the husky playing in the yard. The boy says animals don't like getting near him. Baiye really likes cuddling with you. The boy can't help but laugh till he cries, says she's basically his savior. But the fox eagerly wants to cuddle with the boy again. The boy immediately stops since he can't mess around in human form. The fox seems to understand, instantly transforms back into a little fox, and has a very satisfying cuddle with the boy. Wang is a fire fox all the wolf demons want to eat. Long is a gentle, introverted human boy. They should have never crossed paths, but because of a spirit pull they're now connected. The boy adopted the fox he once saved, and the fox gradually shielded the boy as their relationship grows closer. Today's the first time Ruli's taken the fox out. His brother, worried about Ruli getting attacked by animals, after finding out, does an object like he usually would, but lets him go on his little adventure. Turns out when the boy was very young, he couldn't walk. Afraid of worrying his family, he always wore a smile. His brother knew he was forcing that smile, and prayed earnestly, wishing he could give his brother the ability to walk. Later, a miracle happened and the boy could walk again, while his brother was still moved to tears. Various misfortunes started hitting the boy one after another, because animals go berserk around the boy. The school suggested he transfer. Even so, when facing his brother's concern, the boy always responded with hope. But the boy really has suffered too much on fact. Can't go to school like other kids and has no friends. Even mocked as the chosen one with an animal-repelling constitution. Since then, the boy's kept himself shut in at home, until the fox came into his life. Boys locked heart. Slowly, they went to the zoo to see saw the adorable Siberians and giraffe. Even took selfies with the alpaca, sitting on a bench watching the crowds go by. Right now, the boy finally feels like he's really living. He's moved that he can be like everyone else now. After getting photos of the boy at the zoo, even his brother wipes away tears of joy. Kids are running around happily at the zoo. The man accidentally knocks him to the ground. The man is Baiye's master. He's worried about the fox and the boy. The closer they get, the more dangerous it becomes. In the demon realm, each demon race has spirit beads with different powers, and the fox demon's spirit bead has the rarest power. It can heal and grant immortality. After the mixed blood fire falcon rules, the rare spirit bead brought disaster to the fox demon clan. But he gave the spirit bead to the human who once saved them. Mom doesn't know how to comfort after hearing this. She knows Baiye did the right thing. As long as Baiye can live freely, nothing else matters. But Mom knows she doesn't have much time left. She entrusts young Baiye to his master, the former Fox Demon King. She hopes Huang Yuan, who's been hunting Baiye, will spare the Fox clan for his sake. This way Mom can leave without any worries. But fate always strikes when you're happiest. The White Fox Master starts. Without the spirit bead, how can the fox protect his savior? While wandering the zoo, the boy wants to buy a little fox balloon. The man in the cap hands the balloon for the boy. The fox in his arms looks scared. Suddenly the man grabs the boy. You're quite special, going out with a fox. But you'd better watch out. The fox will bring you bad luck. Hearing such a bestial remark, the boy shakes off his hand and leaves all annoyed. But he doesn't know the danger from the man in the cap is slowly closing in. He takes the fox to the restroom to change. The park announcement urges visitors to evacuate. Visitors in the park are running around in panic. Asking around, they learn a bear suddenly went berserk. The dazed boy thinks it's because of him. Suddenly the fox tells him to run, pulling the boy along with the crowd. But when he hears a mother desperately searching for her son, the boy stops in his tracks. Even though he's weak and timid right now, he doesn't want to run away. He firmly tells the mother he'll help find her son. The photo shows the little kid Tianxian that the fox's master bunked. The boy immediately takes the fox and runs against the crowd. Master also senses an unusual demon power. Hong Yuan arrived faster than expected. The scared little kid hides under the table trembling. Ruli and the fox also sense movement in the restaurant. He wants to go in and rescue, but the fox stops. The fox doesn't want him near danger. But in human form, the fox is no match for the bear. Plus Ruli is worried the fox will get hurt again, so they decide to fight side by side. But watching all this, Huang Yuan keeps casting spells to make more bears go berserk. Facing the growing demon energy, he's afraid it'll awaken the scent of enemies in Bai Ye's sleeping memory. Master can't help but worry about Bai Ye's safety. Bai Ye's heart is already throbbing with pain, but a pack of berserk bears is closing in on them. After seeing the kid under the table, Ruli rushes forward. The moment he hugs little Tianchi, the bear's claws combat him from behind. Ruli bravely shields Tianchi. Familiar faces of his family flash through his mind. Is the life he just started about to end like this? In the moment of danger, Bai Ye instinctively blocks in front of him. 3 deep scratches instantly appear on the fox's face. He promised to protect him, to never let him get hurt again. The upset Ruli yells not to touch him, but it's this that makes the sleeping spirit beat awaken again. Shuang Yuan, who calls the rampage, senses it and shows an evil expression. Afterwards, all 3 of them fall unconscious on the ground. Moments later, the boy jolts away. The mother thanks him for saving her son. But right now, not seeing Bai Ye, Ruli is really anxious. He jumps out of bed just wanting to find his fox. The boy adopted a fox who always wants to cuddle with him, and acts cute and clingy from time to time. He thought, with the fox's company, he could live like a normal person. But when the 2 of them were at the zoo together, the fox's old enemy showed up, causing the zoo bears to go berserk. When the boy was in danger, the fox stepped up. Not only did the bear scratch his face, but he also disappeared after passing out. Ruli, who just woke up in the hospital, doesn't see the fox. He's desperately searching throughout the hospital. The front desk has no news about Bai Yi. The boy feels incredibly lost. They just met and just entered his life. But the fox was willing to risk his life to save him, and now he's disappeared. The boy's fear of loneliness surges up again. Just as Ruli is crying his eyes out, the fox calls to him from the bushes. The boy turns around and looks at the fox. Able to see the fox again, the boy buries his head in the fox's embrace. Where'd you go? I was so worried when I didn't see you. Before the fox can say sorry, the boy urgently asks about his injury. The fox feels the boy's body is really warm, gently stroking his hair. And hugging him feels so soft, can't get enough of it. Later the boy calls the fox to go home together, but the fox stands there wagging his tail and won't move. Turns out he's waiting for the boy to hold his hand. Back home, Ruli wants to put medicine on the fox's wound, but the fox closes his eyes and leans close to Ruli, just wanting cuddles. Gotta say, this fox really knows how to play. After putting medicine on the fox, the boy begs the fox to forgive him for almost losing him today. But the fox doesn't care about that. He just wants the boy's kiss. The boy has no choice but to make an exception. Meanwhile, his brother Ruoji got him another chance to go back to school. His roommate is super envious after hearing this. Not everyone has such a great brother like Ru, and Ruli's strange condition of being attacked by animals is cute. But the roommate tells him he's moving out. The school arranged a new roommate for him, a guy named Qingming. Ruji first noticed the name Qing 4 years ago on the grades board. He's super curious about that person who always came in second, 3 times with just a 1-point difference from him. He even suspected he was deliberately controlling his score to break their parallel relationship. Ruoji later tried to talk to him, but the moment Qingming saw Ruoji, he just turned and left. Didn't give him any chance to chat. But now they're assigned to live together. As Ruoji opens the door, they bump into each other. Thinking he's heading out, Ruoji moves aside. He needs to change and go to the lab. As they pass each other, Qingming smells a strange scent on Ruoji. He immediately grabs Ruoji, saying he has a weird smell on him. Qingming leans in to confirm. That's right, he smells a demon scent on Ruoji. He seems puzzled, but doesn't say it out loud. His first time rooming with the eternal runner-up. He thought they could finally get to know each other. But when they sit down to chat, his roommate bluntly says he smells like fox odor. Roommate Qingming keeps pressing him about the reason. Ruoji feels totally offended and immediately heads off to shower. But Qingming is determined to find out if he's connected to demons. Ruoji is bothered by their first conversation. It was such an awkward start. He even specifically sniffed his clothes, no weird smell at all. Meanwhile, the fox in his brother's room sees a little bird outside the window. He excitedly yells its food he really wants to eat. Just as he leans out the window, the butler happens to see him. Thinking there's a pervert in Ruli's room, he rushes to the rescue. The boy, worried the fox will be discovered, quickly pulls him back into the room, but he tells the fox they can only go out to play at night. But right now the butler is already hollering and running over. The boy wants to hide the fox, but those exposed feet are way too obvious. While they're still figuring out a hiding spot, the butler has already pushed the door open and rushed in. The scene before him makes him feel 80 years younger. A man with fox ears is holding their young master. The boy quickly explains it's not what they think. The ears and tail are all fake. The butler doesn't care if the boy has a cosplay hobby. He says he's calling his brother right away. Meanwhile, just as Qingming is about to tell Ruoji there's a call, Ruoji walks out. He gets dressed while answering the phone. They say they found a man with fox ears in his brother's room. Hearing the word fox, Qingming instantly perks up. When Ruoji wants to rush home, Qingming says as roommates he's happy to give him a ride. They arrive at Ruoji's house. The butler rushes up to greet them anxiously. The boy in the room also notices his brother is back. He tells the fox they have to do something. Hide the tail and ears. The boy tries to make the fox ears disappear first, but when he removes his hands, the ears are still perked up on the fox's head. Worried they'll find out he's been keeping a half-beast pet, they'll definitely have to separate. Hearing about separation, the fox is instantly shocked. The fox tells the boy as long as they don't separate, he has a way. He places his hand on the boy's chest. Before the boy can react, the fox's ears vanish, and he turns into a total hunk. Downstairs, his brother first has Qingming sit. He learns from the servant that he's the first friend Ruo Ji brought home. Then he starts looking around the house. He notices every corner is filled with demon energy. He also senses an unknown energy covering the entire estate. He can't figure out why this is all happening. Anyway, the thick demon energy here makes him feel really sick. Meanwhile, his brother asks Ruli who that man with fox ears was. Ruli explains it's Bai Yi, the little fox dad sent that turned into a person. Hearing a fox turned into a person, his brother obviously doesn't believe such ridiculous nonsense. He says he's kicking the fox out right now. Ruli quickly says he saved him. He's hurt and his brain isn't working right, and he can't even speak clearly and he's homeless. His brother looks at the fox through the door crack, still skeptical. But hearing Ruli hid from him that he got hurt at the zoo, his brother knows he was afraid of being grounded, but he doesn't know how much his brother wishes he could go out. He then agrees to let the fox stay, but they can't share a room. When he's about to pat Ruli's head, the room door suddenly opens. The fox stares at them with fierce eyes. Just as his brother's hand is about to touch, the fox suddenly darts in front of him. Don't you touch my Ruli. The fox who only wants cuddles is actually jealous. Even his brother can't dote on the boy a little. But the fox didn't expect he'd met his match. Yeltsa yells not to touch his Ru lie. His brother's expression instantly turns sinister. Even if his Ru is savior, that's no reason to share a room. He tosses the fox out of Ruoli's room, and even if he stays, he has to be in a room far from his brother. He also tells the boy to stay away from guys like that fox. Then he tells the boys he brought a friend home. Thinking his brother brought a girlfriend home, the boy is thrilled, but his brother doesn't have time for a girlfriend. The boy instantly realizes he brought a boyfriend. After all, they talked about relationships before. He doesn't like the gentle and radiant type like mom. The boy really can't figure out what type his brother likes. But when they get to the yard, they see a handsome guy playing with a husky. The boy instantly gets it. His brother also likes big handsome guys with gentle eyes. His brother then introduces them to each other. But as the boy gets close, Qingming senses a very strong demon energy. And ever since he stepped through the boy's front door, he's felt the scent of a vicious wolf gradually approaching. Seeing it's getting late, Ruji invites Qingming to stay for dinner. Qingming agrees readily. He casually grabs Ruji's arm, saying he also wants to stay the night before leaving, and insists Ruji must stay with him. Hearing this, Ruji doesn't know what to do. The boy watching from the side says he's totally shipping them. At the dinner table, they don't say a word. Even the servant can tell they seem really unfamiliar. Ruoji actually has a lot of questions, but doesn't know how to start, so he just stares at Qingming curiously. After Qingming catches his little thoughts, he shyly turns his head away. Then Ruli and Bai Ye, who are watching a movie upstairs, come down. Seeing Bai Ye for the first time, Qingmei immediately sees through that Bai Ye is a firefox in disguise. But Bai Ye is equally on guard. The moment he sees Qingming, he points at him and says the word hunter. The boy, seeing the fox being so rude to the guest, quickly stops him. But Qingming's unique identity already sees right through the fox. Though he doesn't know why he's here, he can still tell the fox suffered a lot before his memories were sealed. After the meal, Wu Youyi invites Qingming to stay a few more days. Yeah, and surely his brother would really like him to stay. Qingming quickly says he happens to have questions to ask. With just one look, his brother understands his intent and immediately pulls the fox away. After arriving at his brother's study, Qingming notices the photo of his mom. She's very beautiful and looks a lot like He also says Ruji would probably look even more like her if he smiled. Hearing this, Ruji seems embarrassed and tells him to stop talking crazy. But Qingming says facing away from him, he must be feeling shy. The moment Ruji turns around, they're almost touching. Facing Qingming's invisible pressure, Ruji signals him to back up a bit. Seeing his fake smile, Ruji is even more curious. He asks why he always stays 1 point behind him, content to be second. He clearly has. Qingming just smiles so said if he could smile like his mom, just like her, he'd tell him the real reason. Hearing that, Ruji didn't want to be curious anymore. Meanwhile, in another room, the boy and the fox chatted about his brother. The fox mimicked Ruji's expression like he'd struck gold, made the boy laugh out loud. The boy said he wanted to hear more about the fox's past, about his other, but the fox looked really uncomfortable. The boy thought he wanted to do that again. Turns out the fox just couldn't stand hiding his ears and tail any longer. Swish, swish. Seeing the fox reveal his tail, the boy reached out and touched it, but he forgot the tail was the fox's heat switch. The instant he touched it, the fox immediately dove into his arm, feeling the boy's racing heartbeat. Is your heart pounding like this because of me? How about we get close right now? Raising a fox who loved getting close but whose tail couldn't be touched. But the boy just couldn't resist touching it once. Next second, the fox was in the mood, dabbing right into the boy's eye, feeling his racing heartbeat. Said with complete adoration they needed to get close, even though the boy wanted to hold back. But the fox whose power button was pressed wasn't having it. Moved closer to the boy, pinning him down on the bed. Right now, the boy was burning up, thinking he needed to touch the ears quick to make the fox stop. But his body wouldn't listen. Maybe he was looking forward to this moment with the fox too. Just as he gently touched the ears, the fox still tenderly kissed him. Outside the room, his brother was getting ready to wash up and rest. Glanced out the window, noticed Qingming wandering alone in the courtyard. Qingming came to the gate where the evil wolf's aura came from during the day. Today was a special exception for Ruji. He pressed his hand against the gate. Instantly, several green lights appeared. A sealing barrier formed on the gate, and his right eye changed color. Then he went to the garden pond. Looking at his reflection in the water said long time. Right after Ruji's voice calling him came from behind. He quickly covered his right eye with his hand. After his eye returned to normal, struck a really seductive pose looking at Ruji. Who knew this scene would leave straight guy Ruji completely stunned? Could only shyly turn his head over. Suddenly Qingming sensed an evil wolf's murderous intent. Afraid he could get hurt, urgently pushed Ruji back inside. Ruji felt like Qingming was hiding something from him, wanted to get to the bottom of it. However, the seal on the gate was slowly disappearing. Bing sensed the evil wolf came with bad intention, and he alone couldn't protect this place. Qingming started slowly transforming into demon state. Ruji couldn't figure out what was going on, just told him to be careful, and rushed back inside. Turns out Qingming was a half-demon since childhood, born from a human and demon union, and these newborns had extremely low survival rates. and hated having animal ears. Resented not being a normal human. But Qingming in his half-demon form had determined eyes, because the evil wolf in the distance was slowly approaching. Meanwhile in the room, the fox who just finished getting close also sensed danger coming in a daze, told the boys he had to go out. Right now Qingming was shouting for the eagle wolf to show. A wolf demon with blood-red eyes appeared, seeing Qingming was just a half-demon, taunted him mockingly. Though Qingming knew he had no chance of winning, he still charged fiercely at the wolf demon. But meanwhile, Ruli rushed downstairs with Bai Ye, though his brother was confused why Bai Ye was in fox form. But they clearly didn't have time to explain. His brother saw it was too dangerous outside and stopped, so the fox headed out alone with peace of mind. Qingming, no match for the wolf demon, was beaten black and blue, struggling to stand up. The wolf demon, crazed with bloodlust, gave him no chance. Lifted Qingming high up in one grab. Qingming defiantly taunted back that pyramids weren't much either. But the enraged wolf demon was about to deliver a fatal moan, but suddenly Qingming vanished from his grasp. It was the fox Bai Ye who arrived just in time to save, helped Qingming rest on the side. Bai Ye was already prepared for battle. But when he heard the wolf demon's taunting howl, he felt a strange sense of familiarity with the wolf, along with a sharp pain in his heart. With noisy memories flooding his mind, his memories slowly started coming back. Just as the wolf demon was describing how he killed Bai Ye's parents, Bai Ye flashed in front of him. He slammed the wolf demon hard against a tree, and remembered the wolf demon was Huang Yang, who killed his parents. Right then the spirit orb's power kept surging into Bai. When he raised his fist to finish off Huang Wan, this guy suddenly disappeared. Bai Ye had to miss this chance for revenge. However, because the spirit orb's power just dispersed, Ruo Lai in the room collapsed to the floor and developed a high fever. Sun and one fox bound by the spirit orb developed fever. Years ago, the boy in the wheelchair saved the fox about to fall off a cliff. The fox gave him the spirit orb and he recovered his ability wall. But now, because of the spirit orb, the boy was bedridden and would be back in a wheelchair. Just moments ago, the fox's enemy came looking. Because of the spirit orb's power in the boy, the fox barely defeated his enemy. Precisely because the spirit orb's power dispersed. The boy in the room suddenly cut, and his legs atrophied, losing the ability to walk. The fox, after driving away the wolf demon, helped Qingming back inside. Looking at the boy already unconscious on the fox scooped him up. He absolutely wouldn't let anything happen to him. Wei-Ming comforted Ruoji that his brother would be fine with the fox there. But Ruoji was still really worried. Suddenly, Qingming, who got beaten earlier, collapsed against him exhausted. But that's when Ruoji snapped out, concerned about Qingming, who went limp in his arms. The fox couldn't understand why the spirit orb couldn't transfer into the boy's body. Watching the boy's legs atrophy, unable to walk, the fox was about to kiss the boy to heal. Then the white fox master's voice came from the balcony, told him a playful kiss wouldn't solve the problem. The fox urgently asked his master what to do. The master saw the fox's worried expression, knew he'd recovered his memories, and understood the fox just absorbed part of the spirit orb's power. And this situation with both of them holding half the spirit orb's power was a first for him too. He could only restore the boy's consciousness. As for the boy's legs, only the fox could heal him personally. Hearing this, the fox urgently asked what to do, but the master smiled knowingly, slowly told the fox they needed to fully unite their bodies. The embarrassed fox threw a little fit. The master told him being shy was useless, and there was no other way to heal him. Only by uniting could the boy stand again. Meanwhile, Ruoji was bandaging Qingming's wounds. Qingming in his half-state asked if he was scared of her. Right now, Ruoji only felt grateful to Qingming, not scared. Qingming saw Ruoji was troubled because of his brother. Quickly reassured him his brother would be fine with the fox. And someone like him with family should be happy, right? Slowly a smile appeared on Ruoji's face. Asked Qingming just what kind of being he was, to be able to protect their family's safety. Qingming then revealed he was a half-human, half-lynx hacker. Asked if Ruoji was interested in getting to know him better. Ruoji immediately changed the subject, saying he was so cool. Then Ruoji went to the fox to ask about the boy's condition. The fox told him the way to get his brother standing again was for them to unite, and hoped to get Ruoji's approval. Ruoji, who couldn't help, fell into deep thought. But as long as it could help his brother, he'd do anything. Ruoji came to his brother's bedside, looking at his brother. Scrawny, atrophied legs. Sadness welled up in his heart. Suddenly the boy slowly woke up and opened his eyes, seeing his brother crying over him. The boy showed his strength, but this made Ruoji cry even harder. The boy promised him he'd definitely get better. And Ruoji went to find the fox again. Though he was a bit uncomfortable with the method, the fox told him to restore his brother's walking. But he couldn't accept his brother, never standing again. Begged the fox to please help save the boy. The fox, who only had eyes for the boy, finally confessed to him, and the boy happily accepted. His feelings for the fox quietly changed. Because of his atrophied legs, the boy was back in a wheelchair. But he still wore a bright smile. Even joked that looking up at his brother, he was still so handsome. Ruoji was so sweetened by his honey-coated words he pinched his cheek. But facing the boy, Ruoji was just forcing a smile, cause he agreed to the fox's healing method, and had to act normal. After all, his worry wasn't what his brother wanted to see. Rather pushed the boy around the courtyard for a while. After seeing the fox and Qingming, ethically signaled the fox to take the boy for a stroll. Also wanted to give him and the boy time alone. But the boy said he really wanted his brother to push him. However, Qingming also noticed their weird atmosphere. Turns out his brother also told the boy about the method to stand again. This guy Qingming saw right through it. Their atmosphere was basically flirting. Told straight guy Ruoji his brother already liked the fox as a normal person. The fox pushed the boy to a big tree and knelt down on one knee in front of the boy. Right now the boy didn't understand what he was doing. The fox stared quietly at the boy, reached out to stroke the back of his head. Thank you for holding my hand back then. This time let me hold on to you. The scene was just like 8 years ago. The boy reached his hand out to the fox. A happy smile on his face, agreed to the fox's request. Then the boy mentioned his brother already told him the method to stand again was for them to unite. But in the human world, only people in love do that. The boy nervously asked if the fox liked him. Though he didn't understand humans' definition, the fox only had eyes for the boy, and only smiled for her. She wanted to always stay by his side. Well, the boy said he felt the same way. Their feelings for each other quietly changed. Then the fox carried the boy into the room, gently laid him on the bed, while feeling the fox's tender comfort. The boy's heart pounded non-stop. He wasn't nervous, just too shy to express his feelings. Not sure if them doing this was really okay. The fox slowly removed each piece of clothing, using the fox's hydration and love. The boy finally spoke to the fox. Guy, yeah, I like you. This moment they truly united. Meanwhile, Qingming was showing off his great eyesight, said he saw every move the fox and his brother made, and told it all to Ruoji. Watching him in such an uncomfortable state, the Qingming smiled thinking Ruoji was really cute, but seeing Ruoji's emotional changes made Qingming feel the former top student was so vivid and real, and really cared about this person who'd lived in his heart for so long. Just because he was a half-demon, he'd been incredibly lonely since childhood, thought opening his heart and revealing his buried secret would let him make the friends he longed for. But when he took off his hat revealing his ears and his animal-like hands, the boy who was about to be his friend was scared out of his mind and accidentally hurt the little boy's arm. That's when he realized he didn't deserve friends, and it made him understand he needed to stay away from the beautiful things he didn't want to ruin. These words were what Qingming was saying to Ruoji sleeping on his shoulder. Aoji's Laoyoli opened his eyes. He quickly pulled away awkwardly. After all, he never imagined he'd fall asleep on his longtime rival's shoulder one day, too embarrassed to even look at Qingming's face. After a moment of silence between them, Ruoji asked why he always avoided him, but Qingming then told him about his past experience. He didn't dare get close to Ruoji because he felt gaining something was the start of losing him, and that was the real reason he stayed away from Ruoji looked at Qingming in front of him. In his mind, Qingming always kept to himself. How lonely he must have been keeping away from everyone. But then Ruoji let out a mocking laugh, told Qingming he wasn't that easy to break. So can we be friends? Hearing this, Qingming was a bit stunned, and Ruoji's words, "Hey there, friend," pulled his memory back to years ago. Can I be friends with you? Two people being lonely together's gotta be better than one. Meanwhile, right? Huang Yuan, who fled in defeat, was recovering. Hearing someone call him, slowly opened his eyes. It was a little grey bat. Concerned if Huang Yuan wanted him to help heal, Huang Yuan harshly rejected him, almost scratched his arm. But then a voice came mocking Huang Yuan, saying he was really useless. Actually got beaten by a fox. Unable to take it anymore, Huang Yuan turned to leave. The timid little grey bat scolded the person who just provoked Huang Yuan. Who knew when I saw this guy's true form? It was such a stunning blonde beauty. But when Huang Yuan got outside the warehouse, a sound came from behind. It was the fox's master Kang Liu. Long time no see, Huang Yuan. Did you miss me, my dear friend? Hearing the white fox say friend, Yuan just found it ridiculous, because their races were always in a hunter and hunted relationship. And this, the white fox said with a smile. Then you should have pounced on me long ago. Use those claws behind you to rip out my throat. And Huang Yuan just looked gently into the distance. During the wolf demon hunt for the white fox now, Huang Yuan and others crouched on the wall, watching the white fox and his master. Seeing the pure white Kang Liu, Huang Yuan was instantly mesmerized. Kang Liu